Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, September 22nd, 2017. Welcome to another eBay video. Tonight we're going to be discussing the eBay Fall 2017 Seller Newsletter, as well as your comments and concerns from last week's video. And if I have time, I would like to discuss what I call suspicious cancellations, something we've talked about in the past that has reared its ugly head once again. So let's get started, guys. As you can see, it's cloudy, it's a bit windy, which is why there is no sign behind me. I don't want it to fall down in the middle of the video on my head. So yeah, let's get started with your comments, concerns, and questions from last week's video. Flip-Flops All Day wrote, I don't understand why there are even things called unpaid buyers. Why isn't this problem fixed? Other marketplaces have their credit card or payment accounts on file, so when they win or offer on something, they are charged. It happens numerous times a week. Except best offers and several non-payments, I had one this week that I looked at their feedback. There were 4 other sellers that put in the feedback, best offer accepted, buyer doesn't pay, no communication. I know for a fact that I've set it up to block people with 2 or more strikes. So how is it that they could get through that? Does 2 strikes no longer apply? I counted at least 4 feedbacks for this month from the sellers. I responded by saying, join the club. I have said numerous times I will never use best offer again until eBay requires, or at least gives the option for immediate payment. It's disgraceful because buyers know they can get away without paying. Also responding to that comment Flip-Flops made was Wood and Stuff with Steve French. He left 2 comments and he said, I agree. I am sick of people who bid on my items then never pay. Even when they send me some lame-ass BS story to wiggle out of it. eBay should force winning bidders to pay no matter what. It does no good for us sellers to try and fight it. All we'll do is piss off the buyer and prod them to leave undeserved negative feedback. He also wrote, and I love how eBay makes it a point to warn bidders that a bid is a binding contract, then do absolutely nothing to enforce it. The only time rules are ever enforced on eBay is when it comes to sellers, in which cases we sometimes we end up getting screwed for doing the right thing. I liked his comment, especially the last one, because it is so true. When you bid or buy an item, it says you're entering into a binding contract, and that means nothing, okay? It means nothing. That's why I come out here every week and I tell you guys, accept immediate payment, require immediate payment, list only in the fixed price category. You'll never have these issues again. John Hodgson wrote, what happened to the Rogues Gallery? And he's referring to the eBay Bad Sellers Hall of Shame. Well, first problem, guys, is I need you to tell me when you encounter somebody like that. My email address is crazeenydriver@aol.com. CRAZEENY driver@aol.com. That's the only way I will accept submissions for the eBay Hall of Shame. Don't try and contact me any other way because you're just wasting your time. If you do contact me, I will check the guy out, and if it warrants it, I will gladly induct him into the Bad Sellers Hall of Shame. Electrician Sebastian wrote, hey Joe, what do you think about the new Sellers Hub on eBay? They made a switch this week and I was wondering about your thoughts about it. I personally do not like it because they made the switch and eBay engineers didn't bother to give the seller an opt-in or opt-out. And for this reason, it's why I'm so livid. I am not a dog and I hate having to learn new tricks. I have found it to be more difficult and cumbersome to navigate, and it's nothing but aggravating. It takes me longer to list, and not only do I not like it, I think it stinks, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. Well, sir, I've been using Seller Hub now for quite a while. And quite frankly, I like it, and I have no problems with it. But, you know, hey, I can understand sometimes change is hard to accept. I get that. You know, I'm not sure if you can opt out of the Seller Hub anymore. I don't think you can. But you're just going to have to learn to live with it. Nothing else I can say. I haven't heard too many complaints about the new Seller Hub, thankfully. Let us now move on to the eBay Fall 2017 Seller Newsletter. I'm sure by now all of you have read it and digested it. I'm going to go over some of the more salient points that I've selected for you guys. The first thing is eBay is introducing something called automatic returns. This applies only to sellers who accept returns, no questions asked, for 30 days like I do, and where the buyer is paying the return shipping. So let's say I get a return tomorrow. A guy buys a set of hubs from me and he bought the wrong size, which is very common. In the past, I would have to accept the return and then he would ship the item back. What's happening now is eBay will automatically accept that return on my behalf, making the process quicker, and the guy will send the item back to me. That doesn't hurt me a bit. Remember, the buyer is paying the return postage. This new automatic returns program is only in cases where buyers are paying the return postage. And since 99.9% of my people that return things have bought the wrong size, I don't see a problem with that. Another thing they're changing is introducing contact phone numbers to buyers after the sale is completed. You have the choice to opt in or opt out of this. If you want to change your settings, you have to go to your Manage Contact area and you can change from there. What this means is if somebody buys something from you and you opt in, a person will be given your phone number in case they encounter a problem with the item when they get it. This, I have to be honest with you, this concerns me a little bit because I don't mind a person calling to ask how to use an item. But suppose a person calls you and makes an unreasonable demand. Like, for instance, I want you to give me half my money back or I will leave you negative feedback. Somebody could theoretically do that and it would not be recorded in the eBay contact system and you wouldn't have a leg to stand on. So just keep that in mind, guys. It has never happened to me. I'm just putting it out there that it could happen, and I really would like your comments on that issue. What do you think about your phone number being available to successful bidders or buyers? Are you going to opt in or opt out, and why? Do you see any potential problems with that? eBay has stated, as you know, that they don't want any links in your item description that will take the buyer off eBay. I understand that. I have no issues with that, but I've had countless amounts of people on the Facebook groups complaining that they are getting error messages when they do not have any links taking the buyer off eBay. The problem seems to be, for the most part, are people who use third-party tools at some point, like for instance Auctiva. The code is still in the listings and it needs to be manually removed, okay? A lot of people don't realize that. They're calling eBay customer service because they're so flustered, and I totally understand it. I would be very unhappy too if I was getting error messages from eBay saying my listings were not compliant when it seemed on their face they really were. eBay has said that they will allow links to YouTube videos in your listings. However, there is a problem. You cannot use YouTube's share code in your eBay listings. You will get an error message when you're trying to do the listing. There is a tool that will convert the YouTube code to an acceptable eBay code that you can use in your listings. If you guys need that or want it, let me know and I will put that link in the description box below. At this point, I am not linking to any YouTube videos. I was toying with the idea of making one generic YouTube video for my eBay buyers. It would go something like this. I'm eBay seller Hubcap Joe's, and you're thinking about buying this item from me. Let me tell you that if you do buy it, I accept 30-day returns, blah, 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 like that. The only reason I haven't done that yet is I'm a little concerned about the code. It hasn't been proven, and I want to see how it works. There are some people that are using it, and they said it's working great for them. That's fine. I'm going to let it go for a little bit and see how it works, because my main concern is to keep my items listed and generating revenue. Several people have told me that they have experienced eBay Concierge. They have called in and they love the service. It's like night versus freaking day. Although I do have eBay Concierge, I have not called eBay in several weeks. I haven't had any issues, but the very next time I call them, I will report back and tell you how it went. Guaranteed delivery is a big item in the Fall Seller newsletter. This is going to start in the fall, where buyers will be able to navigate on the left-hand screen and check guaranteed delivery, whose items are in fact enrolled in the guaranteed delivery program, and it's supposed to give you a little bit of a boost in search. Remember, there are two type guaranteed deliveries, handling time and door-to-door. For most sellers, I would suggest handling time, which means if a buyer buys your item right now, you must ship it out by the next day. Okay? That is no problem for me whatsoever. It's going to give me a boost in search. I do it anyway, so I might as well enroll in the program, which I have, and we'll see how that works. Starting March 1st, 2018, no more watermarks will be allowed in your pictures or in anybody's pictures, and I think this is excellent news. Excellent, and I'll tell you why. Now, some of you guys are thinking, Joe, why is that good news? How could we possibly gain by that? I'll tell you. And I've mentioned this before. There are some unscrupulous sellers in eBay Motors who have tons and tons of cheap China crap. I've showed you this, how they spam the listings, and they have a watermark on all their pictures that says USA seller. Basically what they are is somebody that's got a location in the United States, but they're importing all this crap, this cheap China crap, and they're flaunting it on eBay, and they're spamming eBay. So those guys will no longer be able to have USA seller in their pictures. It's about damn time, although this change does not start till March the 1st. October starts eBay's free returns program, which is something they're really touting. Free returns means a buyer can return your item for any reason within your stated returns period, which is in my case 30 days, and you, the seller, will pay the return shipping. Now let me think, do I want to get enrolled in that program? No. That was easy. No. I get, as a rule, at least 3 returns per week because people don't read their wheel size. They don't understand it. And that's fine. But Joey is not going to pay for people who don't do their due diligence and read their tire or wheel size. It's not going to happen. My question to you guys, are you going to enroll in eBay's free returns program? Please state yes or no and give a reason. Guys, I try and be the best seller I can. I take 30-day returns, but I simply cannot afford to pay for other people's mistakes, and I am not going to. Period. End of discussion. eBay fanboy number 1 tells it like it is. Fair is fair and right is right. My question to you, do you agree with me or disagree with me? Please comment below. I'd really like to hear about that. As far as the Fall Seller newsletter is concerned, that's all I'm going to cover on it right now. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of questions from you guys, so please comment them below if you care to. I will now talk about suspicious cancellations. Guys, if a buyer buys something from you, pays, and 5 minutes later wants to cancel, I accept that. Things happen. Me, never once have I canceled a purchase. Because you know why? I read, I look, I absorb. But I can understand there are people that don't. I get that. What I will not accept are people that go out of their way to change the quantity in the quantity field and then try and return the item. Now let me clarify that for you, because this has happened to me. This is the third time. I sell a lot of items in quantity listings, meaning, let's say I buy a lot of 10 center hubs for alloy wheels, all the same. 10 Ford center hubs. All right? I will create a listing, one genuine Ford F-250 center hub. All right? Let's just say each one is $30. You have the choice to buy 1, 2, 3, 4. All right? It is preset to 1, of course. You have to manually change it if you want to change the quantity. So let's say right away a guy comes in and buys 1, the next day a guy buys 2, the next day a guy buys 1, etc., etc. So the quantity, which started at 10, is going down, but my search is going up because it's a popular item and I'm cranking these things out. Bang, 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 bang. Okay? Now let's say I'm down to about 3. I go out, I buy another 10, I replenish. I change the quantity back up to 10, and so on and so forth. And these things are really selling. I'm up there in search, I'm doing great. But it now gets down to 4 left. I only have 4 left. I have not yet replenished, or maybe I just haven't changed the quantity, but I only have 4 left. Somebody comes in, changes the quantity they want to buy from 1 to 4, pays because I require immediate payment, and within 2 minutes wants to cancel. Now that upsets me, because that shows premeditation. Somebody looked, they read the listing, they knew it was only for 1, they changed the quantity to 4. They paid and bang, right away want to cancel. That totally wipes out my listing. My listing is now done. It's off eBay. My quantity is at 0. I have none. Even if I actually have some in stock and I forgot to, augment the amount I had listed, I am screwed. This has happened. Now, in my 18 years on eBay, it's only happened 3 times. Once last year and twice this year. Twice in 1 year. Why would somebody do something like that? In the first case, the person had 0 feedback and they claimed they never made the purchase. You may remember I told you this. So I called eBay customer service and I got their account locked up. So they never got to use that account again. Okay? Who was selling the same item, and my item was getting all the views and theirs wasn't. And I think you might have hit on something with that. I think there is some validity to that, because since then I relisted that item and I have never sold one. And that's almost a year. And yet those things were flying off the shelf when I was getting boosted in search. Now with this most recent case, this person had a feedback of 38, I believe. I have no idea why they would do something like that. But please, I want to hear what you guys think. Why would somebody change the quantity from 1 to 4, buy 4, wipe my item right off the shelf, and then say, I want to cancel? I'm almost speechless, but not quite speechless, but almost. So guys, that's it for today's video. I think I've given you enough fodder to work on for comments. To rehash, eBay Fall Seller Newsletter 2017. Tell me what you thought about that. Please answer any questions I posed. Are you going to opt into guaranteed delivery? Are you going to opt into free returns? Tell me your feelings on the newsletter itself. Tell me your feelings on what I'm about to do. I'm going to get a drink. You thought I was going to forget this week. Joey never forgets. If you have any comments, please guys, leave them below. Guys, I come out here every week to make these videos to help you. If you think I'm doing a good job and I'm helping you, please give me a thumbs up. If not, please tell me what I can do to help you more next week. Remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thanks for watching. Remember, I am a seller friend, not a seller critic or skeptic of any kind. Go out there, make it a good week in sales. I had a very good week myself. I had a 24-hour period where I made no sales, but the rest of the week was booming. Thanks for watching. Rock on and peace! Yeah!